Hi, first grade team. Okay, I totally revamped Unit 4 for you, down to 3 days a week since that's what you have. So, if you go to grade level plan in the Bridges shared drive, and I go to first grade, and I go to the most recent year, 2021, 2022, and Unit 4, and there it is, grade 1, Unit 4 notes right there, okay? So I have it in one of my windows up here, one of my windows. So I'm just going to run through these since I don't get a chance to meet with you. So the first week, I think I have it taking 4 weeks, a typical unit of 4 weeks, but condensing it to 3 days. So instead of using in Unit 4, if you remember from prior years, that you would use this life-size number line on a string, and you would like have the kids put up numbers or change where the numbers are. I totally revamped that. So if you love that feature of Unit 4, bring it back for yourself and do that in your classroom. The way I've revamped it is to just have kids after number corner, they come to their tables and they'd have a paper to actually write and practice writing their numbers on. And it is something that you would have to fill out and copy off each day, because you wouldn't just hand them this. You'd want to, if you notice on the notes, I have day 1, you're counting forward and backward by 1s. Day 2, forward and backward by 10s. Day 3, forward and backward by 5s. Then on the next week, it's the same idea, but now you're just restarting and you're going by 1s and then by 10s and then by 5s. So the idea would be for you as the teacher to prepare it by writing a number right here. So I would take and print this out, and I'm just going to write on it for you right now. And this would be what I'd give to the kids on day 1. And I would have a number in here like 38. And they would have to count up and know what these next numbers are going to be. Now I'm strategically going to pick something that passes over a decade number, like 40. I'm going to make it a tougher one like that. And then counting by 1s backward, I could start at like, I don't know, you could start with something simpler, like 13 and go down, okay? Because you'll be doing this for 4 weeks. And they would have that little half sheet to work out themselves. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I have it blank because every day you are going to copy off one that has a different number of starting and a different number to start to go backwards, because it's good to practice counting forwards and backwards on their own and writing out those numbers. So day 2, you'd copy off this one, the 10s. So now you start at a 10s number like 40, and they're going to go up 50, 60, 70, 80, and then they're going to start at a 10s number and go down by 10s. Okay, and then the final one is by 5s. So that's what that means. The second task then is to go on a whiteboard, typically, so they're doing something different from being on paper, but up to you. This one is on the first day is kind of tough because I do have a template that you could use. You might put this in a sleeve, a whiteboard sleeve, so that they can write using a whiteboard marker to have something different than a pencil. And then you guys will practice sets of problems using the number line to add and subtract. So now, for example, my first set of problems could be like 5 plus 3. So now instead of starting at 0 and jumping to 5, I'm just going to circle 5. I'm going to start there, and I'm going to count on 3 more, 6, 7, 8. So we see what happens on a number line, and then we can actually do it with our hands, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we get our sum answer of 8. Now the next problem you give would be strategic. You would, since you did 5 plus 3, this one you would do 5D or 50 plus 3D or 30. And same idea, but now 10s numbers. So I'm going to start at 50 and I'm going to go 30 more. Well, since 30 is a 10s number, I could count on by 10s. So 50, 60, 70, 80. And that right there was 3 jumps, but it was worth 3 10s or 30. So we land at 8 D, and you try to pair the problems up to match each other so they understand. If I know 5 and 3, then 50 and 30 is going to be easy for me. Okay, so this template you can put in a sleeve if you want, and you can practice some sets of problems together. Then day 2, you could do the same thing all week if you want. You can do that same thing. Or if you want to incorporate some games, there is a frog jump game that's on the 10 number line. So this is one of the workplace games. So there we have 2 people using the number line. So you can, instead of taking more time up in the video, you can go ahead and read those directions yourself to see if you like it. You could, they say to come up with frog word story problems. You can if you want, or you can just leave that out. All right, and then the next game is Super Frog. So it's the same exact game, but now it's with well, not exact, I shouldn't say that, it's similar. But now it's with the tens numbers instead. Okay, so read through that, see if you like that. Then there's always the option here of some practice sheets that already will give them some problems to practice, okay? Or you could send it home, all right? For the parents to see, and they could try some at home with their parents. So there's the multiples of 10 practice ones, okay? So that's week 1. Week 2, same idea with those warm-ups, counting forward and backward. And then you're gonna keep practicing on day 1 what you did from the week before, okay? And the frog games. Or maybe you wanna make use of those practice sheets, okay? Then come day 2, now we're gonna practice adding 1, 5, and 10 to a 2-digit number. So what you're gonna do, or what you could do, or what I have done, is I'll use some magnetic number base 10 pieces. If you don't have those, you can just put this up on the smartboard. They could have their whiteboards, and you make a number. So you're gonna have a number up. So let's say I have the number this, and you're gonna say, okay, I want you to write down what number you think I made up there on the smartboard. So they're gonna write down what they think, or maybe you like using the popsicle stick bundles better. So you could do that also instead of using this feature. So they'd write down 24, okay? So then you're gonna go ahead and write, okay, I don't wanna use that and I can't see my tools down here. Where is it? Writing tool? No. Where is it? I can't see it. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a picture to show you. All right, so then once I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and write down, yes, that is the number 24. Awesome, okay? Where is the 2? Right here. We had 2 10s. That gave us 20. And then the 4 is right here, 4 1s, and that gave us 4, 24. Okay, now I want you to take that 24, and I want you to add. When I say add, you say plus, add, plus, add, plus, add, plus, plus. Yeah, we're plussing, we're adding. I want you to add 1 more, okay? So now when you do that, you'll let them try to figure that out themselves. Then you're gonna pull over 1 more. I'm strategically gonna make it like a dice, okay? Oh man, I pulled over 1 more and it's not 24 anymore, it's 25. We went 1 more, okay? And then you'll practice saying, okay, now let's go back to 24. Okay, now let's say if I add 10 more, what do you think is going to happen? They write down what they think. They put plus 10, and then you literally add a 10, and they see that it ends up being 34. Okay, so I have you adding 1, adding 10, and then also adding 5. Okay, all right, and then come day 3, you just practice that again. Then the next week, you have the same idea with the warm-ups. And then there is a game, a new game added onto it, the frog race game. Now this is not an official workplace game. It's meant to be just a game you play as a class, but you could totally have partners do it after you play as a class. So we have us as the teacher, them as the class. Let's see, where's the teacher gonna start? Where am I gonna start? 30. So I get to put my dot at 30, okay? And then I'm gonna move from there. How far? I go one more. Oh man, I only go one more. So am I going all the way to 40? No, I go to 31. 31's not on the line, but where approximately does it go? Does it go closer to 30 or closer to 40? You can look at your class number line to help you figure that out, okay? So I'd have my dot here at 30, and then I jumped one more, so now I'm right here at 31. And then down on their whiteboards or on a piece of paper, here's the teacher, and what did we do? We started at 30, and we got to add 1, and so now I'm at 31 on my first turn. Now, you guys as the class, let's see what happens to you, right? So now they start at 30. Ooh, they get to start at the same thing. And then they get to go 10. What? Okay, so then if I go back here, they get to start at 30, but now you guys got to go 10 more. So now you're over here at 40. So this is you guys, 30 plus 10 more, and you got to be at 40. Now the first people to make it past 50 wins, or hit 50, they win, okay? All right, so that's a fun game to play as a class. You could also print this out as a template and give them some spinners, and they could play against each other. So that's what I have you doing for the rest of the week. Or you could also incorporate those practice pages, or there's other games to play because they need a lot of addition and subtraction practice. Then the last week is going to be comparison problems. Kids need a lot of practice with this, knowing if I had 9 points in the game and you had 6 points in the game, who won? Well, I did. They would know that because I had 9. But when you ask them by how many more did I win by, most of them are going to say 9. So they have to understand that that is 6 plus how many gives you 9, or 9 minus 6 gives me that difference. So to understand comparison problems, one way to do it is to make use of Greg Tang's site. And he has this game called How Much, How Many, which you could display up on the screen instead of having the kids doing it on the computer. And then they would have whiteboards. And then we just do level 1 because that one's the best comparison one. And then it's going to give me some pictures, and then we read together. Are there more eggplants or radishes? So we'd have to discuss, these are eggplants, those are radishes. We would write down on our board, how many eggplants are there? 4. How many radishes are there? 3. Which one is more? Well, we know the eggplants is more, so we're going to use the comparison sign, the greater than sign, because a lot of kids need that understanding of greater than and what that symbol looks like. So we'd write on our whiteboards, 4 is greater than 3. So there's more eggplants than radishes. So see, once I actually click down here, they're gonna see that symbol. Are the eggplants greater or are the radishes? So you'd write that on your board. Then how many more eggplants? So how do we figure that out, you guys? How many more eggplants? It even starts showing me. The eggplants are more, but by how many? We see that that is by 1. There is 1 more. And why is that? Because 3 plus what equals 4? 1. Or we could solve it by finding the difference. 4 minus 3 equals 1. So you want to make sure they're understanding both ways. Okay? And how many vegetables in all? 7. And then we get another problem. Okay? All right, we can write down our comparison symbols, that 1 is less than 2. And then are there more peppers or tomatoes? There are more tomatoes. Okay? And then it'll say by how many more, and we can write our addition and subtraction sentence. Okay? All right. Then day 2, now we're going to compare actual things to us. So yeah, since it's still winter, let's compare ourselves to some penguins. Did you know there are a lot more than just one type of penguin? Oh my gosh, you guys know that. So then, in order to get ready for that, we're gonna all need snowsuits. So you guys are gonna measure them in inches using measuring tape against the wall, give them a number, you're gonna make a graph of this data, okay, with their snowsuits. And then you're actually the next day gonna use this PDF here, just go straight to it, and they are gonna compare the penguins. to themselves. Okay? All right. Have a great time. Let me know if you need anything else. All right. Bye.